Hey everyone, in today's episode we've got something a little bit different planned. We're getting a tour of what I think is going to be just about the coolest place on the whole planet. It is a Renaissance-era Italian fortress owned by a guy who collects anvils. Let's get right on into it. This was set up by my buddy Oliver Goldschmidt, who's an amazing knife maker near Florence in Italy. He knew these guys and was able to set up the tour, and I'm very, very, very excited. Beautiful road to get up to the castle here. Not an easy track. Definitely need four-wheel drive.
This is the main entrance.
So this fortress is over 400 years old. It obviously has had some wear and tear in that time, but they're in the process of renovating it to restore it to its former glory.
What year was it built?
When?
Yeah.
About intorno al 1500.
1500s.
Awesome.
Però non fu mai utilizzata per fini bellici, cioè fu costruita per difendere
Firenze dal nord.
Da nord,
Sì.
però non venne mai sfruttata.
Yeah, he was saying it's a military fortress, but it was never used in war.
Interesting.
Però costruivano, era una fonderia, se non sbaglio.
No, di sicuro c'era all'interno una zona anche dove forgiavano.
Facevano i cannoni.
Sì, sì.
So there was a big foundry and forging area.
Now before we got to see the whole collection, we got to walk around some of the old buildings, see the old barracks for the soldiers that were stationed here, see where the quarters were, the kitchens, stuff like that. Really, really, really neat. I've been in buildings this old before, but normally they were in a museum or a little bit more of a delicate setting. This is a little bit more raw and very, very cool.
So he's saying this is not a normal well. It's basically probably the same volume of this building here with water.
A lot of room.
A lot of water.
Oh yeah.
Just to make sure they can stay in here for a long time if they were
Yeah.
sieged. He says it would be about 20 acres
Oh wow.
in the fortress. So we entered and we have 20 acres of fortress.
Oh my.
It's the largest. It's considered the largest fortress in Italy.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Non quella meglio conservata. Quindi no, dai, vedrai saranno all'ombra lì.
It's like a dining room table.
70 per 70.
No, io ho visto questo sul sito. Cioè,
questa
questo è assurdo. Cioè,
Sì, allora,
you can forge on this table.
Oh, totally.
è
So
una
it's
tonnellata
6 inches thick and
e
probably
50 kg
3 foot by 3 foot.
solo questo piano.
Oh. First anvil. Italian?
Italian.
Sì.
Allora,
Boy,
But it's a Firmini, a French maker.
Firmini. Allora, è di forma Italian shape,
Yeah.
but
French maker, Firmini. Yeah.
Around. This is another fireplace for the
Whoa.
guards.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool.
Quante ce ne vedi queste? Questa gli è rimasta dall'ultima volta che c'ero.
Sì, ma lui allora non è che ci sta.
Questa è austriaca.
No, tedesca.
German.
Sì,
German.
Sì, German. Sì, sì.
Big old
Sì, ok, no, vabbè, era giusto per se c'era qualcosa.
No, beh, qua c'era la terra, ora ti vedi calpestato. You can walk now, but 20 years ago the earth reached the last windows.
Wow.
And you guys
With a small
digger. They dug all this earth out.
Wow. What filled it up? Just time?
Le persone l'hanno riempito.
Sì, nel tempo.
People over the years just, throwing dirt.
Peasant. Contadini.
Contadini, the peasants.
Well, I have to interrupt really quick to say something, and that is that I feel so unbelievably fortunate to get to be able to go on trips like this, to be able to visit places like this, and that sort of thing would not be possible without you guys watching and without sponsors like Squarespace. I know you guys appreciate the funny Squarespace intros, but I'm really tired. So instead, I have a sincere thank to Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode, and I feel so fortunate to have them as a sponsor because I really truly enjoy their product an awful
lot. I've been using Squarespace for 5 years now, and it is just an incredibly powerful tool for a small business or for someone who wants to be able to show off their hobby. They have pre-laid out website designs, so you don't have to be an amazing graphic designer to have a beautiful website. You can just kind of plug and play, choose what you like. It's easy to drag and move things around to get it how you like it. Or if you don't want to have to make that type of decision, they already have everything laid out. It's very easy to upload products to sell on there, so you can sell online. You can accept all kinds of different payment, both online or in person for point of sale systems. You can keep track of your inventory. If you want to have a little bit more intimate of a following, you can have members only areas, galleries, links to social media, adding new pages, blogs. All of that stuff is very, very, very simple and easy to do. So if you guys are interested in checking out Squarespace and giving it a shot, go to squarespace.com/Will Stelter for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain, because you can do domains through Squarespace as well, which is super neat. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. With that, let's hop back on over the pond to Italy to keep on talking about super neat stuff like anvils and vises and swage blocks and castles and stuff. What year was it abandoned?
Yeah, after the war.
Okay.
Second World War.
Yeah.
So as we walk up into the second level, the more fortified part of the fortress, the first thing that we see is this amazing 1,000-year-old church. Just absolutely blows me away that something that old is just hanging out, sitting here at the top of the fortress, at the top of the hill, over the town, and it's still in pretty excellent shape. Obviously, there's been some restoration work and things have been upkept on it, but it's absolutely amazing to see such a cool old church. After that, we get a view of the main portion of the large anvils in the collection, and it is just absolutely breathtaking.
I want to count all of the anvils that I see for the video. You guys might have to help me. Okay. So we're at 3,
No, you
4,
don't start.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12,
Ciao.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh my God.
Now, I think that anvils are super, super cool, but there's definitely a soft spot in my heart for big vises, and these are the largest vises I have ever seen by far. These giant Italian post vises are very unique. They are not common at all, and it sounds like they were really only made in Italy, and I haven't really seen them anywhere else. These were definitely one of the most impressive things that I saw in the whole collection.
So this vise is
Quello lì un po'
400
bombato.
kilos.
No, nuova con la base.
No
Dai, quella lì,
way.
bellissima.
Scale on top of that giant cast vise. The vise sitting on top of it is an 8-inch post vise, which is about as big as anything that you're going to be able to find in America. And it looks like a tiny vise compared to the giant, I don't know, probably 14 or 16-inch wide jaw vise underneath it.
Più o meno questa parte qui
78.
è abbastanza
That's the biggest
statica
anvil I've ever
perché sono
seen
cose
by
più o meno
far.
si tengono. Uno
Just
fa
in the
delle
first,
cose. Non c'è
from
verso.
here
Qui c'è delle
on
escursioni
over,
tecniche,
138.
delle piogge.
Yeah.
This is the
Allora, abbiamo
biggest
provato a
anvil
metterla-
I've ever seen.
Sta impazzendo.
Ah, yeah.
Russian?
Yeah.
Russian, right?
You can.
770, so that's 1,500 pounds.
Now, it's actually right at 1,700 pounds. It had to be about 5 feet long and about a foot wide. It's absolutely unbelievably massive, and the scale that you get from the camera just doesn't quite show off just how massive this anvil really was.
And it came from France. Wow. The German, right?
No.
No.
No. This is from Switzerland.
Switzerland.
You can recognize because this face is not straight, but slope.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not 90 degree.
Yeah.
No. It's
Stronger. Yeah, but that's interesting with the foot.
yes.
Huh.
Typical from Switzerland.
Really? Wow.
Now, it was absolutely wild to walk past so many massive anvils, pieces that in America would be the centerpiece of anyone's blacksmith shop. 500, 600, 700 pound anvils that looked so small compared to some of the other anvils in the collection that I just walked past, hardly looking at them twice. It was a weird feeling to be surrounded by so many absolutely massive, cool old anvils.
It's so cool. Holy cow.
La compriamo quando ancora si poteva.
Oh my
Prima
gosh.
della chiusura dei
Ah,
perché ora è
Anvil.
diventato
L'Inghilterra ce l'hanno levato.
Is this Is this Swiss as well?
No, this is a
Questo.
English Anvil.
Even with that foot shape?
Yorkshire Anvil.
It looks the face looked very Yorkshire to me, but the foot did not.
Ah, yes, yes.
non posso
The foot
rispondere
not,
se ad esempio.
yes, but the horns, the face
129.
Yeah.
is from.
Questa forse tra
Is it
And
a?
you can Sheffield somewhere.
Oh yeah.
No,
Interesting. Very very cool.
no, ma qui
400 kilo.
1000
435 kilo.
Oh my gosh.
435 kilos is just a hair shy of 1,000 pounds. That means that this entire 1,000-pound chunk of wrought iron and steel was at a glowing white temperature at one point, being beat on by hand hammers. An unbelievable thing to even think about. Completely overshadows the one next to it that was probably still about 800 pounds. That anvil weighs about 100 pounds more than my little giant power hammer, which is crazy to think about. Cool to get to go inside the 1,000-year-old church to see the stonework, the beautiful masonry, as well as some of the carvings and whatnot. It's a very holy feeling place, and just a little bit of a personal note, I thought it was extra cool that it is surrounded by anvils.
Oh my gosh. So they're both over 1,000 pounds. Amazing.
It was super interesting to be walking past pallets of these massive post vises. They were all 6 to 8 inch jaws, and they're just stacks and stacks of them all over the place. Very, very, very cool.
How tall this wage block
Right?
is.
Isn't that so sweet? The proportions of some of these tools are anche le morse.
Yeah.
Queste sono le rimanenze.
Oh
di-
yes.
non avevo
Yep.
preso io.
Lovely. My main anvil is a 400-pound Colswa.
Si è rotta.
Yeah.
Cosa?
Yeah. So newer.
I have bought dei fucili, quelli damascate.
Wow. This is Belgian and it's too
A gun barrel maker's
Yes.
anvil. So cool.
right.
We have two.
Oh
This
my
is the
gosh.
bigger, and inside smaller.
Wow. I like the
How crazy is
treadle
that?
hammer
Yeah.
too.
On that crazy anvil.
Yeah.
Yes,
Did you see the
old anvil. This is old, very old,
Oh.
with this shape.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful.
So there's 260 anvils outside in the yard there. That is bigger than any anvil collection that I had seen, and we weren't even all the way through, hadn't even made it into the building full of anvils. This area was super interesting. It had a lot of the really, really old anvils, things anywhere from, 200 to 500 years old or more. It's cool to see how rough those forgings were, while still being totally functional, and they had been used a lot. You can really tell by the mushrooming on the faces. It kind of gives it a more organic look to the top of it. And you can kind of tell by the lack of uniformity in the anvils as well. Things were a little bit rougher back then. Iron and steel were far harder to produce. And without giant power hammers and being able to move things around, anvils were definitely a lot more of a challenge to be able to forge.
Oh my gosh.
Single horn, very, very old. This shape is very old and ancient.
Yeah. Wow.
Italian.
I feel like the
Single.
500-year-old paintings that I see, the anvils look like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you ask me which one I like, this one, this,
Oh my, that's it.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very clean gun barrel anvil, huh? Wow.
And this one, this.
Yeah. Oh my.
One,
So,
2, 3.
what was the purpose for such a long?
Copper.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. In America, we have steak anvils,
Yes, yes.
this that have a very long heel like
Yes.
that.
Tongue.
Oh, tongue.
pass me that?
Tongue. Okay. Tongue.
That's awesome.
Tongue.
That's a very interesting one too.
Yeah.
So thin.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
He's on a diet. 1842. Oh my goodness.
Alcuni sì, no, questi
Fren-
allora, i martelli
French?
questi qui no perché sì.
Italian.
Dai, sì. This is one of the first anvils we bought in France.
Very very old, you think?
And it's for farriers.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
For horses.
Yeah. Very cool. I need to have a look at this little thing. 392, 394, 95, 96, 98, 398. That's a very interesting post vise to have such thin jaws for how heavy it is down below. I wonder if it was set in the ground or something.
One, yes.
Huh.
Very, very nice.
Wow.
Ah, sì, sì,
It's
questo
a
sì.
huge forge.
Qui ci sono due Wesco e poi questo è interessante. Questo è interessante, è tedesca, SH. Era
Beautiful.
usata nella marina, le montavano sulle navi
Marines
e,
on
e
the
le,
boats.
e le ancoravano con le catene sul ponte.
They would tie them to the boat
Yeah,
from there.
that's awesome. Wow. Oh my
soffiettine,
gosh.
sì, sì.
Ah sì, c'erano anche l'altra volta, assurdo.
Questi qui, allora, questi verdi sono polacchi.
The X is so cool.
And those are cool tongs too.
Quell'ascia è fantastica. Quella testa d'ascia è assurda.
Comprarli.
Vero?
Super
Ci fa di
vise.
male, noi siamo dei pazzi noi uomini.
Same size.
Yeah.
1, 2, same size.
Oh my goodness.
25.
Lo regalano.
Yeah.
No, ma
Very, very
io
cool.
voglio-
Ooh,
That's a sweet one.
406 anvils so far.
Cool.
No, io questi
Si può vedere un'ascia che c'è qua?
cavallo.
Si può vedere un'ascia?
Sì, sì, se ce la fai.
No way.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is
That is so cool.
Cosa c'è scritto sopra?
It's like the predecessor to an American tomahawk.
Right?
Yeah.
That is really cool. There's something written on it.
I don't even know.
To do files. File maker.
Con
Interesting.
praticamente batti su una specie di
Ho visto un
cosa-
video, sono questi
con
botti
un
un po'.
tagliente così.
Sono qui.
Oh my gosh. 407, 408, 409, 410.
He's finding more anvils.
Yep. We're at 410 so far.
410 per ora.
I didn't even know I could count that high. Oh my goodness. Oh, 411.
Un cacciavite. Longest screwdriver.
Molto bene.
He said he can't put any more anvils in here, otherwise the floor will just go down.
400 fili.
Little arm and hammer?
Sì.
Arm and hammer?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was cool to see so many different shapes of anvils. Different countries produce anvils that look so differently, and then different time periods produce very different looking anvils as well. They have an awesome collection of weird old anvils with very uncommon shapes, made for specific purposes. It was an absolute treat to get to see so many different shapes in such a wide variety.
Very small church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Smaller church.
One, single horn.
Yeah.
This
Oh, yeah.
round, not
Straight. Yeah. Wow.
occhio lì, aspetta.
Wow.
Mind the wall is it's not safe.
Yeah.
Allora, cioè, si
Amazing.
vedono poco, ma insomma. Cioè, questo
Thank you so much. This place is amazing. Wow. It's funny.
it's dangerous to see
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
it's a
gosh.
poison.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's funny for me how subtle a lot of the differences between the different manufacturers are, or the different regions. The Bavarian is so slightly different from the Swiss, which is very slightly
Yeah.
different from the Austrian. Yeah. In the world.
Gloria a Dio.
Glory to God. Yeah. German?
Yes.
No.
We like this very much.
Yeah.
This,
Are you counting?
Oh, the cutler's anvils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For hammer,
Yeah.
comes from Germany. We like the
Very cool.
very much.
Wow.
And a pizza oven.
Pizza.
Is that actually
Served
what
on
it
an
is?
anvil. Yeah, that's a pizza. Pizza oven or bread oven.
This is the most remarkable place I've ever been in my whole life.
It's a native part.
419 anvils that I saw, and I might have undercounted a little bit.
This marble plaque is a thank you note, essentially, from the local villagers who took refuge in the fortress during the Second World War. They holed up here and were able to avoid the fascists coming through. Definitely a very interesting history that it was put to good use even so long after it was originally built, that it was really able to keep the local people safe during a time of need. I think it's a very neat part of the history of the fortress and a very nice plaque in order to commemorate it.
Ma dici non è potabile? No.
Oh my
Ma
gosh.
nessuno
A rischio.
cioè,
It was to crush the olives and
This
then
is,
all the pulp
ti serve di attaccarciamo,
di sotto.
oh my gosh.
però normalmente vengono perché sono
Before we left, we had to go ahead and find the couple of donkeys and sheep that actually live at the fortress full time. They wander around and graze, but we hadn't seen them the whole time that we were walking around, and so there's a little bit of concern that maybe something can happen to them, so we got to explore it through the cave and tunnel system underneath the fortress in the lower level, where there's areas for cannons to be placed and basically the lower defenses of the fortress. And we walked around until we finally did find them on the far side of the fortress, hanging out, eating grass. In this beautiful kind of open area overlooking the hills of Tuscany. It was super, super pretty. And if I was to be stuck in a fortress for a long period of time, this seems like a very nice place to do it.
So this here is the valley that leads to Florence. So when you're coming in through the north, you have to pass by this fortress along with that castle right there, another fortress. And then there's another large castle down below that you all have to pass by if you are marching an army in from the north to try and get to Florence. A very strategic position.
No, se no si fanno di male, poi iniziano a rozzolare.
Purtroppo si vede. Ma dopo per includere essere presa per tenersela, mi ricordo, ci disse che insomma poi aveva comprato su eBay, un'incudine tedesca, no?
Well, the metal gate, so the second reinforcement.
Well, the Fortress of San Martino is definitely one of the most magical places in the whole world. I'm glad I got the chance to be able to film it, to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed.
That place is just unbelievable. Total sensory overload, ton of fun. I'm over the moon that I got to visit. It was just beautiful. The rest of the trip to Italy was a ton of fun as well. I got to work with Oliver Goldschmidt in the shop. We started a collaboration project. We went hot air ballooning, had some delicious food, and had just a great time overall. So huge thank you to Oliver Goldschmidt. If you guys haven't seen his work, you absolutely have to. He is one of the best bladesmiths in the world, in my opinion. His design work and the way that he thinks about knives is just totally different from other people, and it's worth having a follow along with. So check out his Instagram, Goldschmidt Knives. Thank you, Ollie. And a huge thank you to our gracious host for giving us a wonderful tour of the Anvil Castle. That place is unbelievably cool. Another quick thing that I got to do on my way back from this trip, which it's very much related to this, is visit my friend Christian in Frankfurt. He also has a beautiful anvil collection. Some of the anvils in the collection in Italy, he originally found in Germany and got to them, which is super cool. It was only by coincidence that I got to go see his collection, but we got to hang out, talk about anvils for a little bit, do some forging. He's got a beautiful shop and a wonderful collection. Y'all should check him out as well. Anvil Hunter on Instagram. That will all be linked down below. Another thing to note is that the collection of anvils, sometimes they put up anvils for sale. We'll have a link to their website down below for those of you who are in Europe. It's probably a little bit more economical, but I think it's also possible to get them over here into the States, and they have some absolutely wild pieces. And as you guys can tell, I'm back in Montana now, made it home safe. And much like the Medicis of old patronizing the great artists, thank you to our patrons for patronizing us, even though we're maybe not quite so good as Michelangelo or something like that. And if you guys like old tools, go ahead and drop a comment down below with the coolest tool that you've ever seen out in the wild in person. With that, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.